Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Game number 2 right now between Morrow and OGS MC, and again, yes, it says Blizz Event A, but it is OGS MC. We did see last game, unfortunately for Morrow, due to some nice harassment with some zealot bombs, MC was able to take out his 4th base, knocking Morrow back to even bases with his Protoss opponent MC, and that's just a tough situation to deal with, especially with that Protoss death ball. We saw some nice use of burrowed roaches, but unfortunately with those observers, whenever Morrow tried to utilize those, he did get his army pretty much knocked down because of the fact that observers are obviously allowing him to see the burrowed roaches. And looks like MC is going to be starting off on the one base. Much more difficult to do what he did last game. Last game we saw that Forge fast expand from MC, but we really can't pull that off on this map. There's just way too much area for you to cover realistically with just a Forge fast expand. You can actually try to go for like a semi wall off, putting your wall in this direction, moving it to the expo, and then maybe putting a cannon or two over here, but that's kind of a bit too much to ask, and a lot of times you're not going to see players do that. So yes, here we go. Game number 2 between these guys. This time we are on Metalopolis, and we can see right now MC pushing on out with his scout, going to be moving into Morrow's base. Looks like Morrow is going to be doing the same thing he did last game in terms of opening, starting off by getting that very early metabolic boost. He's going to be getting his pool as soon as he can afford it right now, but going to get that very early metabolic boost, pull guys off of the gas, and then go for that expo at around 21-ish supply. And yeah, so taking a look over here for MC. MC is going to be doing pretty standard stuff as well. Expect to see that assimilator. There we go. And another pylon should be coming out sometime soon over here as well. So nothing too funny going on for MC. Nothing too fancy at all. MC, of course, scouting out his opponent's base. He knows exactly what Morrow's doing. At this point, what he's going to be trying to do with the probe is try to just hold back, cut back, and delay the time and the drop of that expansion for Morrow. So it's just going to be moving around with that probe, trying to be a little bit of a harassment probe, we can call him. That's his name. And probably maybe we might even actually see him drop down a pylon. That's an effective tactic as well. We didn't see that last game from MC, so maybe that's just something he's not really fond of using on a regular basis. But you never know, anything is possible. I haven't screened this game as always, don't know what's going to happen. So second assimilator coming in for MC. MC not doing anything off kilter so far. Very, very standard play from him. Moving on down, going to be trying to scout out that drone that we'll be pushing out for that expo. And actually, where is that expo coming? He can't afford it quite yet. Once these Zerglings pop out, that's actually when I expect him to come down. We do have this scouting drone, and that's actually going to be heading straight on over to MC's base. He did obviously move down with that Overlord. He saw the fact that he wasn't over here, and the drone's going to be scouting this position, and he will, of course, get to that proper spot. There's that Zealot, though, and placed on hold, I believe, as well. Is he going to be able to sneak through, though? Gonna be close. There we go. Actually using that mineral trick, grabbing that mineral patch, allowing him to force himself right through that Zealot scout. That is a very, very sneaky tactic indeed. So he's going to be just moving around with this until that stalker comes out. And this is actually going to delay MC's placement of his next building. That's going to delay his basically showing of his tech choice. Morrow, as mentioned, pulling guys off of the gas, then dropping that expo. Going to be moving around with these Zerglings, trying to find that sneaky probe. It's actually sitting over here, and look at this. Morrow manages to catch it, and actually on the wrong side of the light post, but it doesn't really matter. Going to be able to catch that probe. I think he should be able to drop that, no problem. We do have the sentry coming in, and look at that, 2 gateways coming down. Did Morrow manage to scout that? Yes, he did. And actually, what I'm going to expect right now from MC is just probably going to be a 3-gate expand. That's probably what we're going to be seeing. Coming out with sentry heavy. You can see he's got sentries queued up right now. 2nd sentry, 3rd one making its way on through. So yes, going sentry heavy. Fast expand is pretty solid with the 3-gate fast expand. Works actually really well. Definitely a nice Protoss build. Going to be a little hard for Morrow to deal with it. Now, the one thing to consider is the main reason this is actually safe is because those force fields allow you to basically contain your expo. But again, keep in mind here, the expo is pretty wide open. That's a lot of area to have to watch and cover with force field walls. So it's a little bit scary. We can still see probably some harassment here. What MC is going to want to do is maybe get some buildings back here. Even just putting like a pylon right here can cut back drastically the amount of harassment that his Zerg opponent Morrow is going to be able to do. Taking a look inside Morrow's base, we do finally see that Roach Warren coming out. Probably going to be seeing the same type of build as last game. Roach Hydra overall, again, going to be a really solid build against any Protoss opponent. And yeah, I'm not going to actually expect to see any sort of additional tech here from MC until he gets that expo up and running. Probably just going to be working on his econ very hard up until that point. So actually, guys, it looks like we may very well be seeing another macro-heavy game. I mean, this is kind of the makings of it. Obviously, players in cross position, they both have access to basically their half of the map. Ooh, look at this sneaky Zerglin over here. Not seeing anything he didn't already know, but still hiding out in the corner. Needs to be careful though, buddy. Make sure you're care for your life. Just be a little careful, little Morrow Zergling over there. That's not the safest place for you to be. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Why can't I look over there? I can't actually see him. I can't zoom in on the Zergling. Well, that's a pain in the ass. Oh well, kind of wanted to do that. Anyways, let's get back in the game. Let's get back in the commentary. Let's focus here. A layer coming on through right now for Morrow, just starting that up. Again, Roachborn is up, actually not coming out with any roaches yet, just sticking with those few Zerglings. We do have that Robotics coming out right now as well, and a Forge coming out. It's going to be going with these 3 gateways. Here comes that Forge and that Robotics right now. I'm going to be getting that Observer Chrono boosted right on out. And no, the Zergling lost his life over there. I told him not to hide over there, and he never listens no matter how much I try. He just doesn't pay attention to the things I tell him. The layer is about halfway through right now. So anyways, yes, probably going to be seeing a macro heavy game that looks like what it will be. Like I just mentioned, the cross positions allows you to take your half of the map pretty easily and not have to worry too much. Biggest concern, in all honesty, comes to these really far outlying expansions, and then of course those high yields become a little bit difficult to actually manage to get up and into. Morrow going to be spreading out the creep over here, and that of course is something like we mentioned last game that you want to do every single game as a Zerg player. Spread your creep, give yourself that vision, give those units of yours that extra speed increase, and actually that Evo chamber popping up. Let's take a look to see if we get some upgrades coming down. We have that burrow research coming down. Also coming down right away with that those tunneling claws. So something that we have seen Morrow use quite a bit of is those burrowed roaches, and with those tunneling claws. Makes them very effective, but like mentioned, as soon as there's observers on the board, or if the observers are with the army, well, it becomes a little harder to actually use those effectively. Now, it still is a reliable means of surpassing any force fields, and that's kind of the main purpose of it. But realize again, when you do that with the observer there, you're going to be taking shots to the face as you're burrowed, and that's not a good situation at all. Another Zerglin buddy hiding over here in the corner. Hopefully he cares for his life a little bit more than the last one does. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, though. I think he's going to chill out here until his death, so very, very sad. These Zerglings just really don't care for their life at all. I think they're just a little too emo. I think that's what the problem is. Morrow getting up his 3rd expo right now, but we can also see at the same time MC coming out with his 3rd, and so Morrow needs to, I mean, he's aware of this right now. I think he just spotted that. No, well, he did see the pylons go down. There we go. So finally spotting that expo, and that's going to tell him, well, maybe I should move and consider to get my 4th, and look at that. There we go. So Morrow, as a result, going to be coming out with the 4th, but at the same time, look at this push coming out. Lots of sentries. We have this Colossus on the board over here as well from MC. MC going to be pushing pretty hard. If nothing else, though, he may actually just be going for some creep destruction over here and then pulling on back home. Dropping those creep tumors can be very frustrating to deal with as a Zerg player when he gets those frontal creep tumors that stop you from continuing up that spread anymore. Just a little bit infuriating, I would have to say. Morrow actually has yet to drop that expo, still just sitting here with his drone again, and we do want to see that. He might just be a little bit concerned about this possible push. He doesn't want to basically do things too quickly. It's going to set him far behind if he actually tries to drop that expo and then just loses it when this guy moves out here with this large force. So MC, here we go, push coming on down. Observer allowing him to drop down his creep tumors again, and we're actually going to see an engagement in just one moment. I'm liking this wall off over here from MC as well, making Zergling run-bys much less effective. We do have those overlords moving on across, lots of not too many roaches actually. What's the army come out? Actually, Morrow is setting ahead 77 to the 52. Okay, so he hit some roaches over there in the back as well. He's got a few more coming on through. Overlord spreading out this creep here. Actually, I think he's getting ready for a counterattack, and here we have it. Roach is going to be moving on out right now, pushing out for a counterattack. Speed not quite in, but it's going to be in very shortly. We do, of course, have those group spines coming on through. Level 1 upgrade for those missiles there for this Zerg army. So that, of course, is their range upgrade. There are lots of Colossus on the board, though. Lots of sentries there as well. This is a little bit of a dangerous situation. I'm really liking the creep spread here from Morrow, but he needs to be careful not to lose those overlords. As a result of that, there is a lot of anti-air over here from MC. MC pushing on up to the high ground. This is not the best spot for him to fight, though, with that wall off. Not going to be able to get too close. And here we go, moving on forward. Nice force fields. He's going to use this burrow. There we go, bro, moving on forward. But look at this, taking so many losses while he's moving across. That's the problem there, and so many force fields going down. Unbelievable from MC, just continuous force field action, and this is very bad. Morrow is just going to lose all of these forces trying to retreat here with those roaches. Finally, those force fields dissipate, allowing him to move on back. You can see, though, even while burrowed and moving, Roaches being so durable didn't take too many losses. Now, there was some really nice force field action over there from MC, and it made it to the point that he wasn't actually able to push up and do too much damage. Morrow basically just had a hard time gonna lose that one roach there, but again, even with that, he was able to burrow and retreat and not lose too much. So there you go, just goes to show you the durability of those roaches. We can see now finally Morrow's gonna be coming out this expo now that he realizes, okay, I'm feeling pretty safe. I'm not too worried about this push yet, but we can see actually a big regrouping here. 78 supply right now in army for MC, and MC's looking to make another push, sitting with that tech, that very high tech in those Colossus. But here comes a push. We do finally have some corruptors on the board, and that's exactly what Morrow needs. I needs to get right up on those Colossus with those corruptors. That's how he's going to be better off, and actually retreating with those roaches right now, pulling back those corruptors as well. Doesn't want to deal with those force fields. What he really wants to do is just keep engaging, poking and prodding, then pulling back, and then finally make a big push once those sentries are very low on energy. That's kind of the main ideal situation there. Now let's take a look inside of MC's base. It's been quite a while. Let's see what he's got going on. He's got another gateway coming through. In terms of upgrades, working his way up to that level 2 upgrade for his ground units. Also coming out with some immortals right now, seeing that his opponent is so roach heavy. There comes that blink research, obviously making those stalkers much more effective. And we actually have a dark shrine coming out right now for MC, so making a big tech switch there. Gonna try to catch his opponent here, Morrow, by surprise, and that would be very effective if that Overseer wasn't right there. So hopefully he's able to actually get some use out of those DT with that cloak there, and getting some sneaky action inside of the base of Morrow, but needs to be careful to stay away from that Overseer. Morrow is looking to be in a solid spot right now. He's got a lot of roaches at supply cap pretty much, 194, 110 of which is army, and he's going to be pushing right on this expo, and MC's going to be looking to lose this. So yeah, at this point, not a whole lot that MC's going to be able to do to actually stop this from happening. Pulling forward those Colossus, but it was too late. He was forced to cancel that. And here comes the engagement right now. Corrupt is going to be moving forward. And look at so many roaches going to try to tear through this army. But there are a lot of immortals right here from MC. MC, of course, with those immortals, going to be doing a very good job against that roach-heavy army. And see you later, roaches. Getting demolished by those immortals. Just unbelievable there. You can just see how quickly those immortals tear through those roaches. And look at this switch to 21 Hydras coming on out for Morrow. Those Hydras will do much better up against those immortals. And actually, they're going to tear right through those stalkers as well. So this is actually going to be a very nice transition here from Morrow. That's exactly what he needs to do. We can see MC still just is on those few bases. We do have some DT being warped in. I'm not quite sure where they are. Where did those DT go? Are they sneaking around anywhere over here? I don't think so. There we go. So there are those DT. So he's actually going to be pushing out and trying to do this engagement with them on the board. Do we have that Overseer? No, we do not. So this is not good for Morrow. He's not going to be able to see those DT. These Hydras in are a lot of trouble. They're going to be able to push back those gateway units. He does see these cloaked observers moving around. You can see them moving around right there, obviously. So he's going to want to get that Overseer if he has one over here. Does he have one at all? I don't know. I'm not sure if he's got one over here. This is not really good at all. Pushing down with some of those Overlords as well. Losing those kind of unnecessary. I don't actually know why. He was actually trying to push those down for some creep spread, but big push coming out from MC. Morrow's looking to be in a little bit of trouble, rerallying his forces there. Still no cloak detection over here for him. Blink stalks move forward. Those Hydras, though, are going to tear through that gateway army. This is not good. I don't know why he blinked into those. Trying to actually target fire down that Overseer, which he was able to do, but still not a really good situation right here. There are a lot of roaches and Hydras, and they're going to be ripping through this gateway army here, and MC is looking to lose all of his forces here. Little units twigging out over there. Going to be moving down with a few roaches, trying to target fire down those Colossus. Colossus making it on the high ground. Actually, these two Colossus do make it safe. DT destroying this attempted expo over here from Morrow, and Morrow lost a lot in that engagement, but the thing is, so did MC. MC just with a few HP on these guys over here does manage to just barely sneak through. Hydra trying to catch up, but so very slow. DT going to be ripping through. Finally, some cloak detection over there, but it doesn't matter. The Colossus pushing down to engage, and this is a very dangerous situation right now. We do need to see Morrow actually push out and be a little bit more aggressive than we're seeing right now, because he's just not doing enough damage right now to MC. And again, we can see MC sitting over here with this high yield that's putting him in a very strong position. Morrow definitely needs to do something to take care of that, because if MC is allowed to sit on this, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. That last engagement was just a little nuts. You saw how quickly those Hydras can tear through that Gateway army, but it was pretty much those Colossus that allowed him to win that, because being Hydra heavy is very dangerous against those Colossus, especially without enough Corruptors on the board to deal with those. It's just very difficult for you to actually handle yourself in that situation. Morrow going to be spreading out the creep here. Again, needs to be careful. He doesn't want to get supply capped to just trying to spread out creep. Spreading out that creep with those overlords is a good way to increase that speed and make your units much more effective, but getting supply capped as a result is of course a very dangerous situation. We do have this one Zergling over here actually again on patrol. Morrow definitely liking that, allowing him to spot that next base, but it doesn't really matter because, like just mentioned, MC is on this high yield right now, and that is just not good at all. But here comes a push right now from Morrow. Morrow feeling bold now that he has some Corruptors in play to deal with these Colossus, and actually lots of Roaches right now. He can actually tear right through, but there are a few Immortals right now. Corruptors trying to target fire down those Colossus. I'm not sure if he has enough, trying to get really close. He wants to also target fire down those Immortals, and that's not good at all. Morrow just lost everything he had, and actually just GGing, not even deciding to deal with that counter push that is expected from MC. If MC pushed out with that, there would pretty much be absolutely nothing that Morrow would be able to do. So there you have it, guys. Good game. That is game number 2 between these two players. Gonna be moving on to game number 3 in just one moment. Again, this is a series between Morrow and MC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Remember, as always, if you enjoy the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Keep watching and keep owning.